Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tembelani Kaya Letumahlang, well known as Mr. Mabala Bala Sir, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my YouTube channel. Nakalibizo ke Tembelani Kaya Letumahlang, well known as Mr. Mabala Bala Sir, the grateful and choppers. Just English is very ostentatious, grandiculate, and that's who I am. The father to all nations, the brother to all sisters, that's who I am. And please do subscribe, like, and comment. And I remember I promised you consistency in the last video. Remember, they said now I'm back. Now I'm determined, now I'm black, and I'm wearing formal. I was shooting something prior to this, and I decided that let me not change and just continue with that with the outfit. And you can see that I'm wearing Jeremiah here. Jeremiah, because I think it resonates with what I'm going to speak about today. Speaking on one of my greatest love. My first love is Jesus, of course. My other love was becoming an RCL president. Most of you don't know that, but in 2023, I became an RCL president. At my school, I was doing grade 10 at the time, at my school called Moshate Secondary School in the Val in Sebokeng, Zone 17, where I was elected as the president of the school, right? And I think it's one of the roles that gave me, or that gained me popularity, that exposed me more to other schools, to people. People got to know me. People are like it gave me popularity. I'm sure maybe you understand what do I mean by popularity, that people got to know who I am, right? Not only in my school but in other schools and primary schools and other in other districts. They got to know who's Mr. Mabalabalase, and thankful to God for trusting me with that. So I'm going to speak more about it, how it began. As you can see in the title, it's written how it began in this part 2, and I hope that you go watch that. How I became an RCL president and how it began. I remember I was in grade 9. Actually started when I was in grade 9. When I was in grade 9, I really wanted to be an RCL. Not only, in RCLs there are different positions, but I wanted to be the president. I did not want to settle for less, right? I said, no, I want presidency, right? And I remember months later, I saw the president. There were already elections and the president was chosen for the year 2022. So I became president 2023. So for the year 2022, they had chosen somebody. And because I was not even class representative then in 2022 when I was doing grade 9. So in 2023, that's when I was chosen for class representative. So how it works is that you need to be a class representative, and then you need to be chosen by your class to be a class representative. After you have been a class representative, now you become you go to the RCL elections, where all the class representatives are gathered and they choose the RCL president. The RCL stands for Representative Council of Learners. And I remember grade 9 wanted to be RCL so bad, but I didn't get the opportunity. God didn't got me the opportunity then. And I saw the RCL president with the white blazer, and that motivated me so much. That really, really motivated me. I was like, I need to get that blazer. And then she came, I remember she came into our class, and she was signing something. I didn't bother, but I was so motivated by the blazer, by like, oh, there's a school president. Because when I came to Mshati in grade 9, in grade 8, I was not actually impressed, because there was no debating, there was no public speaking. All the things that I love, they were not there. Not like in primary they were there, but I had hopes that maybe in secondary things like that would be there, right? I was like, okay, now I started monitoring the president. What is she doing? Are there any initiatives? And are there any implementations that she has begun? I started following that and I found nothing, right? Maybe there are things that she did, but I was not aware of, right? And then I said, you know what? In 2023, I need to become the RCL president. Hey, and I remember, God is so good. And I remember on the 10th of December 2022, right? It was around 10 p.m. And I had it written down. I still have that book, but I don't have it now. I had it written down, and I written that, Lord, please make me the president of Moshate Secondary School. And I wrote Habakkuk 2 and 2, Habakkuk, some call it Habakkuk. I wrote Habakkuk 2 and 2. It says, write the vision and make it plain. So for he who reads it will run to it. And even though it tarry, wait for it, for surely it will come at an appointed time. I was like, my God. And I was listening to Steve Harvey a lot. So Steve Harvey is like, hey, follow your dreams. Hey. If you watch Steve Harvey, and I got motivated by that. And I was like, I'm not letting this go. And I remember on the 31st of December 2022, I prayed so hard that, Lord, I declare and believe that 2023 will be a year that I become president. And that was like the only thing that I prayed for. I didn't pray for many things. I just prayed that, Lord, please make me an RCL president in 2023. Right. And then it's now the new year, it's 2023. And I was like, okay, now schools are open. And I was like, now, how do I become the president? How do I make sure that I'm the president? But I'm like, also, even if I'm not chosen to be a class representative, because I know people won't choose me because I'm not so good looking, I need to come with a strategy that I'm chosen to be the RCL president. I need to make sure that I am the RCL president. Come hell or high waters, I need to make sure that I'm the RCL president, because I know that because I'm not the funniest, I'm not the jokester, I'm not, the charmer boy. So I don't fall into the criteria of people chosen to be the RCN. And I drafted, I remember I took a pen and I did a whole presentation on why should I be the president of the school. And I remember I always carried it in my bag, and I was like, I'm going to take it to the principal, and the principal by born, he needs to make sure that he makes me the president, because I have a whole plan here that why I should be the president. I have the whole presentation that has everything that you could need or anything that could lead you making me the president of the school. I was very determined those days. And I remember the first day when I saw the principal, I was like, okay, should I give him my file? And I postponed. I will give him tomorrow. And then it's the next day. Should I give him the file? Get cold feet? No, I will do it tomorrow. Should I give him now? And this is the part where people don't know about, that I actually wanted to go and confront the principal of the school to convince him, however, to make me the president. I was like, okay, do I do it now? No, I'll do it tomorrow. And I got cold feet for a very long time. And I remember they were choosing now class representative. So as I've explained, that you need to be a class representative first before you can be the actual president. You need to be a class representative chosen by your classmates. Then you have to go to the RCL elections where all class representatives are gathered. Then the chosen or the RCL committee is where it's chosen at the thingy, at the elections where they are the class representative and whatever. That's Savalier. But it's fine. So yeah, we're sitting there and I'm like, now I remember my class teacher was Mimtab at the time. And then they were like, Mimtab was like, okay, guys, class rep ya ngwanana, class rep ya mshimane. And I was like, let me go for it. And I stood up. We went, I think it was the four of us, the boys. And I can't remember the girls or Banalba guy. And then people voted for me. People voted for me and my other friend, Refilio Majwe. Like, people voted for us. And then we became the class representatives. And I was like, you see, now I'm a class rep. I have to be the president. I really have to be the president. No, it's very fun because I met somebody. Okay, don't mind. I was like, you see, now I have to be the president. And I remember on the 5th of February of Feb 2023, we were called to the RCL elections. And I was like, today is my day. Today I will be an RCL. Whether they like it or not, today is my day. And we went to the room. And all of these people are there. But my support structure is strong because I had my friends who were class representatives. We had Basetsana, we had Erwini, we had... who else? Mampopi was also there. Majo was also there. Like a lot of us, a lot of the people that I know were there, right? So yeah, we're sitting. Fine. Now, Majara, which was the TLO, she asked the question, "What does the RCL stands for?" Stand for? And people are like quiet, and I raised my hand. I was like, "Ma'am," because that's who I am in nature. Like I like being forward. I raised my hand, and she was like, "Yes, boy." I was like representative council of learners. Oh, they were like, "Yes, he's right," and they clapped for me. At that very moment, funny enough, that's where I knew that I will be the president. When people were clapping and answered the question, when you have the feeling that things would go this way, right? The instinct that things would go this way, and I believed for it. I'm like, listen, I prayed for it. I've written it down. It has to happen. It has to come to pass, right? I became, and I remember they said, okay, keep on mama batlang president. So, but batlang president at that time, we went forward, and I think there were many of us that time. I think we were like 10 or 16 of us who wanted the candidates for the RCL position, and we went. I remember the first person to speak, or before that, actually, they said, it's time to write your speech, right? To write your speech, you are given 5 minutes to write your speech. And I'm struggling to write. Because I'm scared. I'm shaking. I was like, no, I will say whatever that comes in my mind. I won't write. I won't prepare any speech. The first person to speak was by Khansi, which later became the deputy president. Was by Khansi. By Khansi spoke very well, and she sat down. We all clapped. Now it's my turn to speak. Or before that, Basatana says to me, Manuela, this position is yours. Skawara, Kwena president. And then Basana went to sit down. And then I was like, okay, let me speak. Because people were being hesitant speaking. I went and I said my speech. When I turned back, other candidates were not there. Like there was no one. Other candidates were not there. And I was alone. I was like, oh, where did everybody go? And it was just me and Khansi competing against the presidential position. And then we went outside, obviously, because people had to vote. Then people voted, and fast forward, I became the president of Moshate Secondary School. That moment was the biggest achievement of my life, and it still is. I think I've achieved things in life, but becoming the president of the school was the greatest. Was like the greatest thing I could ever achieve in life. I felt very proud of myself that moment, and I remember going home. I even called my mom and said, like, I'm the president. A whole tembelane khayele to mashlangu mshimana tswambuli chaba is the president of Moshate Secondary School. Do you understand? Like, do you understand what is it to be the president of the school? The president of the school. And I was so excited. I felt very proud. I can't explain what that has done to me, and the opportunities and the doors that it opened for me. And I couldn't sleep. I was like, oh, Jesus. And it was a Friday. I was like, now Saturday and Sunday, I was like, oh, the president of school. Like I even wonder that, God, why me? Why me? Chosen for that prison. And now I had to sit down and remember. I remember when I came to school, I was doing grade 8, and my teacher said, not my teacher, my mom said, when we arrived at Moshate, it was my first day, and she said, one day you'll be something great in the school. And I was like, lady, because can you look at how huge this school is? And I was doing grade 8 at the time. Like, can you see how huge the school is? And you expect me to be the president or something big of the school? I was like, I don't see it coming. I was like, I don't see it coming. And that moment, I felt in that very same moment, that's how it began, right? I felt in that very same moment that I felt so proud. I felt tapping. I felt my inner being tapping in its form. I felt alive. I felt, because I've never been a leader in serious things of being a leader maybe of Modladi Sowakai guy, but being a leader of something huge, it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel real. Not right. It did feel right, but it didn't feel real because I was like, but my inner being was like, this is where you belong. This is where you belong. But I was like, how do I belong here? And I feel that all of us, we have destinies. All of us have, yeah, okay, I think that's the right word to use, that we all have destinies. We just need to tap into them to feel complete. To feel complete. And I want, in the next coming part, I will speak about Monday, right? I've spoken about 2022 and the week of presidency, of becoming a president. And I think I'm going to do a part 2 just speaking about starting from Monday, my first day of office, right? But I feel so proud. And I was like, imagine. Because I think even though you're not interested in the RCL, and I need to put it out there that I don't know about this year because this is 2026. But I've been in Mshate for 5 years. I'm done with school now. And I have to tell you that our RCL has been one of the greatest RCL I've ever seen in my years of secondary school. The things that we did, the things that we have done, were not done by anybody. Maybe another generation will come and do it the other way, or maybe similar to our way. But I think till today we stand as the best RCL in the entire history of the RCLs. And I don't want this video to be long. I'm gonna do a part 2 because now I wanted to focus how it began. From writing it at 10 o'clock in the evening, praying about it at 11 on the 31st of December, drawing proposals and presentation of why should I be the president, to making sure that I'm chosen as the class representative, to being the actual president. Now, I think there are also things that happened in my journey or in my years of office as an RCL president. And I want to speak about that on the following part. That what are the experiences? What are the things that I taught myself? What are the things that I shouldn't have done? What are the things that I shouldn't have said? Because I was very ambitious. Very, very ambitious. But I think we're going to uncover that. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this video. Please do make sure that you like, you subscribe, you share, you comment, you share it with your friends, your family, or anybody who's just aspiring to be an RCL president. You know, who's just aspiring to, if you have plans or intentions of becoming an RCL, you know, share with them and please do so. And I want to also appreciate you guys for watching my videos. My videos are being watched. We have what we call the YouTube studio where we view the analytics and everything, and they're growing so wonderfully. And thank you very much guys for watching my videos. I really, really appreciate it. I don't take it granted. Please make sure that you continue watching these videos, and maybe there are things that you want me to speak about. Please don't be afraid to tell me. And God love you. Ooh, God love you. God loves you. God bless you. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.